that it would have really happened. But this year, again, is sort of a tipping point now that ESPN, HBO, so many channels, even Nickelodeon has its own app, CBS and Showtime, everyone is putting their programs online. This will be a real test to see if there's a shift, if there is a replacement.
All right, to Ed in Rockford, Illinois, you're on the air.
Yes, thank you.
Sure.
I just enjoy this conversation. I wanted to make the comment that I am so glad that I dropped Comcast. I got Comcast originally for the internet, but I found out I could get the internet very well now with what they call U-verse, AT&T U-verse. And I have an antenna I put up in my attic many years ago that I connected, and I get about 20 to 30 channels on that without using any cable television at all.
What do you think of that, Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, that's the great thing about choice, right? That's the one thing that Comcast hasn't had to see a lot of, which is competition. And when you have competition, people have better options and will find something that better suits them. And for a lot of markets, Comcast is the only choice that you have. And for that reason, it's, as David said, that's why you see customer service and quality levels go down the hill, because they don't have to compete with anyone for those things.
All right, to Andrew in Bethesda, Maryland, you're on the air.
Hi, Diane. Hi, Diane. First-time caller, long-time listener. Thank you for having me.
Good to have you.
Thanks. So this goes to what the guest said before. It's just that, why is more attention not paid to the kind of anti-competitive practices that Verizon and Comcast as telco providers have engaged in, which there's only one service in one area that is often backed up by state, local, and municipal governments to essentially regional monopolies in one area. And that's why they really put themselves in this position where people are sick of it and they want to change. And they'll find a better price point with a streaming service and basic internet, which is what I've done. And I can take my answer off the
All right, thanks for calling. David.
Well, you're absolutely right that these are essentially companies, Comcast and its competitors, that are granted limited term monopolies of a kind. I mean, Verizon Fios provides some kind of competitor in some markets. You see some overlapping markets, but most of the time it's a single entity is given the license by a regulator. When I was in Baltimore, I've been in NPR more than a decade now, but when I was in Baltimore, one of the things you noticed was that you would see public officials and relatives of public officials somehow getting benefits from Comcast in the year or two before contracts were given. I remember a city council member had a part-time job or side job with Comcast in the year before Comcast was up for review its contract. I believe the wife of a congressman who later became governor, if I'm not mistaken, the wife of former Governor Bob Ehrlich had a job with Comcast before he became governor. And they sort of seed these relationships with people on both sides of the aisle, as well as giving significant financial contributions to candidates at all levels of government, local, state, and federal, in such a way to ensure a, shall we say, favorable terrain as they go in to say, hey, we're good citizens. And they do, these community projects to create goodwill, and sometimes they execute them as promised, and sometimes they don't. But they would say they spend a lot of care and effort on this. I would